Hey, let's talk about ski and snowboard edge angles. Have you ever been confused about base edge versus side edge? Why we need two numbers to denote a single edge? Why one person might say they like a 2-degree side versus an 87-degree side? Those sound miles apart, but they can actually mean the same thing. We're going to break it all down for you in this video, so whether you're doing tunes yourself or you just want to be empowered when you go into a ski shop and talk to them about what gets you the best results. So as we're talking about this, we're primarily going to be looking at a ski through its cross section. Here's a piece I cut off earlier for demonstration. Now I got to buy new skis. Then I realized, actually, let's draw it. That's a lot easier, a lot bigger. The starting plane that everything is going to be referencing in this will be the ski base pointed up, like it's on a bench, how a ski tech will be looking at it. That's 0 degrees. All right, first up, base edge. That's the side here running parallel with the base that will be interacting with the snow. When the ski gets a base grind, it's just flattening everything out. That's going to be coming off just completely flat with the base. If you left your skis like that, they'd be super catchy. You'd be on your edges all the time. There'd be no easy point to just rest. And so we want to cant that down just 1 degree. These angles will all be exaggerated to see them a little better. There's a lot of tools to do that. We'll go over the tools in another video, but that's your base edge. For almost any recreational skier, it's going to be 1 degree off of that 0 plane. Now, the side edge is the one running perpendicular to the base. And this is the fun variable that we actually get to play with to determine the performance of a ski. It can range anywhere between about 90 and 85 in super extreme cases. Out here in the Rocky Mountains, I do a lot of 88s for customers. That's a pretty sweet spot. Back on the East Coast, maybe an 87 is more standard. The more acute of an angle you're creating, the sharper the ski's going to be, the better it's holding, but it's also not going to last as long. That edge can roll over a little bit. If it takes a hit from a rock or something, you can imagine that 90 holding up a whole lot better than this racer's edge does. So you typically lose the common language on this is when somebody says they want a 2-degree side or a 3-degree side. That's because they've flipped the axis and they're talking about this 90 degree now and saying they want 2 degrees off of that. I don't like flipping the axis ever. I think ski base should always be your reference point, and speak about the side edge in terms of 80-degree angles. It's not tough to translate in between. Obviously, if somebody wants an 88, they might say a 2, but that's where a lot of the confusion comes on this, is people change the reference point in between the two sides. And I don't buy any tooling that does that. Everything should be referencing that one flat base. One more thing to mention here, and this is really pretty unimportant, I think, is your final edge angle or the total angle. So if you brought your 88 degree in here and you brought this down 1 degree, the actual end angle on the edge is going to be an 89. That's not a number you'll ever really need to give a tech, but I think it does help to remember that this base edge is still interacting with this side edge because you're keeping your plane consistent. And the actual edge angle is not the angle that you set the side edge to. All right, so I think that's everything. I'm sorry if I gave you flashbacks to geometry class. It really isn't rocket science. I know everybody out there is perfectly capable. Oh shit, this is all backwards. I'm using the forward-facing camera. If you can read this, I guess I figured out how to mirror the mirror. Let's give a good job, Taylor, in the comments. If you have any questions, let me know. If I made any mistakes, let me know. And we'll figure out how we actually achieve these angles in another video.